Hello and welcome to PHYS30141 Electromagnetic Radiation. Hopefully you will already have watched my introductory video, and in this second video I will go through the structure of the course and in particular how to navigate through the course module website, which will be your source for finding all the material associated with this course. As you can see on the screen here, I have already navigated to PHYS30141, which is for the 2021 third year session, and in the same way as other physics courses, the material is laid out in Blackboard as a series of panels and folders. In the first panel, I summarise again the requirements and recommendations for doing the course, and as I said before, you will need a pen and paper to follow along with the calculations, and of course you will be wanting to take notes as well, I imagine. You will need a calculator for doing some of the numerical calculations, and of course access to a computer for viewing the teaching material. Now, this module this year is fully online, so the structure of this module will be as follows. Each week there will be about 3 videos for you to watch, and each one is around 20 minutes long. The first week is a little unusual because of course we have these introductory videos. In each week there will be one live teaching session which is accessed via this Blackboard page, where I will go through this week's material and where you can ask questions. In addition to that, for those of you who want to ask one-to-one questions, there will be an office hour session where you can drop in and you can ask one-to-one questions of me, and you can also talk to other students if you wish. For each week there will be sample calculations and exercises for you to do, and there will also be exercise sheets, example sheets, and there will be 5 of those, and they will be released during the course of the module, and again they are there to help prepare you for the learning that you need to do in order to successfully progress through this course and take the examination at the end. Now, all teaching materials will go onto this Blackboard module course, and you should refer principally to the typed up notes, which I shall show you in a minute. Of course, if you're interested in the structure of the course and in the syllabus, all that material is available on the left-hand side of this screen. Now, this is a 10-credit module. It is accompanied by a complete set of lecture notes, and it is divided into 6 units or sections, which are reflected in the sections of the typed-up notes. These include the electromagnetic field, sources of radiation, radiation in matter, reflection, refraction and scattering, guided radiation, and electromagnetic radiation by charged particles, and the material will become progressively more challenging as we go through the course. Now, this is an 11-week lecture course, so we will spend about 2 weeks on each unit, and the coursework and videos will be divided week by week, although of course the material will follow these 6 sections. So in each week I will ask you to watch the videos for that week, to read through the accompanying notes, and I will let you know which pages. And in these notes there are examples all the way through, and I recommend that you try replicating those calculations as you go. A very important part of this course will be doing numerical calculations and estimations of the phenomena that we are dealing with. During the weekly teach-in, I will go through some of these main points again, and I will discuss these example calculations, and I will give you a worksheet of what you might call simpler calculations, which reflect the material that we're going through, so they won't exactly match what's in the notes, but they will reflect them. Now, as I said before, every 2 weeks there will be an example sheet, and solutions for those example sheets will be given a couple of weeks after each example sheet is issued, and of course you should work through these questions. Now, whilst the main notes are the principal material that I recommend you use, you also have access to some more support materials, and over the years we have found that these support materials are useful to augment or complement the main material of the course. And in the first lecture, which I'll be doing a bit later on, I will show you some recommended texts which you can also refer to during your learning. So as well as the main notes, I previously made handwritten notes from the course, so the latest version of these were taken from last year, and they can be used as a complement. They follow the same syllabus and they follow the same material, but some people prefer to see handwritten notes, but of course because they are handwritten there may be occasional errors in those notes. I've also made a series of slides which I've called lecture support notes, which give you more context in detail and perhaps some more pictures. You will see that in the main notes there are a plethora of examples and photographs and diagrams, but these lecture support notes are supposed to augment those. I have also made some summary handouts that summarize some of the important ideas of each unit. You should not take those to be an exhaustive list of the things you need to learn for the assessment, but they will help you summarize, I hope, the material that you cover in each unit. I have also made a revision summary sheet. Now, you should not use this as your personal summary, but it may be useful to guide you in your revising. On top of that, there is also a video list, and I've collected some selected YouTube videos that I think are both correct and offer useful extra information, and I encourage you to have a look at those and to use them as a complement to the main parts of this module. Finally, there is a practical example which is called Physics of the Microwave Oven, and you should read this document carefully, and also you should find it fairly interesting. Now let's go through each of those sections in turn. You can see in the lower part of this module page, you can see the access to week 1, week 2, week 3, and so on, and these weekly pieces of work will be released, of course, week by week for you to refer to and to work on. However, the complete set of lecture notes is already available, and it is available for you to read through from beginning to end, and as you can see here it is loading. So as with any of the other material, if you find it difficult to access any of this material, then please let me know. It's a fairly long document, but it does go through in detail much of the material that you will need, and hopefully you'll be able to hyperlink your way through it. I'll just scroll through randomly, and I recommend that you read through the recommended pages each week. Some of the material is extra to what is required in the course, so of course the past papers and the example sheets will give you a good guide as to what to expect in the examination. There is extra material in these notes to complement your learning. So if we go back, so I won't show you the weekly work yet, because of course it will be released week by week, because I'd like to help you pace yourself through the semester. However, there are example sheets and solutions which will be posted in this folder, the example sheets folder, and of course at the moment they are not released, but they will be released every few weeks as we go through the semester. And here are the lecture support notes, including the Physics of the Microwave Oven, which I encourage you to read about maybe halfway through this course. And then there are summary handouts. So as you can see, much of the material is already prepared, and as you work through it, if you have questions, there is a discussion board, as I'm sure you're aware from many of the other modules, and please, please, please do ask questions on this board. I will endeavour to answer those questions fairly frequently. I also encourage you to discuss amongst yourselves any points that you raise, and any questions or queries that are raised as part of this course I will endeavour to answer during the teaching and in the later videos. So that's it. I do hope you enjoy this course. In the next video I will go through the syllabus and the structure, and hopefully you will be able to start the main videos after viewing that. Okay, thank you.